Welcome everyone to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan here for today on the show. What can I say? I mean, we're having the best way to start up an epic day because we have on the show the incredible, the amazing, the badass, the superstar, the legendary, the one and only, the incredible Alaina. Alaina, how are you today?
Hi, it's so great to be here. Thanks for having me, Dan. I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. What better way to have an incredible, super badass day than to be chatting with someone as badass as you? Know what I mean?
Oh, well, thank you. Yes, likewise.
There you go. Now, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow. It helps a lot. But also, on the description below, you're going to find all of Alaina's social media. Let's follow her and let's find out why she's super badass. We're on a mission right now. And without further ado, let's jump in. So I want to start this whole conversation by throwing out the very first question, which is, when you look back at where it all began, you know, that first spark, that first dream, tell me, what do you remember most about the person you were back then?
Yeah, well, I don't know how much your audience or you know about me, but my original path was in theater, in musical theater. And so that was the original dream. And at the time, I just knew that nothing made me happier than singing and dancing and acting. And I wanted to do all of that until my knees gave out, until I died, like as long as possible. So, yeah, all I remember is thinking, this is so much fun and I just want to have fun for the rest of my life. And that's why I chose, the performing path.
And tell me, what was that moment when you knew deep down, this is what I'm meant to do?
I remember when I was like 14, I had to do a career project for school, and we had to choose, a tentative college program that we would apply to someday and what we would study and what our course load would look like. And the thing I was most interested in was musical theater. And so that was kind of the first time that I sat down and was able to picture what daily life would look like studying that full time. And yeah, I don't know if there was one moment exactly. I think I was a really shy kid growing up, and so it was sort of counterintuitive for me to choose a performance, an extroverted, profession. But deep down, I knew that I loved it, and if I could overcome the fear of performing in front of other people and letting them hear me and making mistakes in front of other people, then, there could be some potential there.
We're just starting and I'm discovering now why you're badass. And you're giving me these vibes like, I'm getting it now.
Oh, cool. All right. All right. So that's
Yeah.
all, folks. So thanks for tuning in. No, just kidding.
There you go. Even after all these years, auditions, rejections, transformation, like all of that, tell me, what part of your younger self still lives within you? The one that still believes that it is possible, let's say.
I think it's the part of me that I allow to dream, the part of me that I still allow to have those dreams and those wishes when I don't get so caught up in the day-to-day work, and instead I just think about, like, this is so cool that I get to do this every day, that I'm a full-time actor, that I'm, maybe I'm doing something a little different than what I originally set out to do, but at the end of the day, I'm still practicing my art and it's my livelihood, and that was ultimately the core of the dream. So I think that is a kernel of my younger self, because obviously my younger self didn't know about things like adult responsibilities and finances and logistics and time commitments and how many hours a week you spend on this. But I think that I think she's still there, and I think that she would still be proud.
I mean, I think it's important to still have this kind of communication with your younger self. You know what I mean? Like that version of yourself that is excited about everything, that wants to keep moving forward. I think when you have like this kind of connection to it, you kind of still moving forward, and that no matter how difficult the things might be, you are going to be able to find a solution as quickly as possible because you have like this energy to keep moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
How has heartbreak, grief, or perhaps loss transform your craft, the way you tell stories or the way you see yourself?
Yeah, I think, it's probably really cliche for a lot of artists that a lot of times grief or those hardest moments that we have in life, we tend to transform that into some of our best work. And that's certainly true for me. I also write music, and I think some of the best music I've ever written has been initially me processing hard things that have happened in my life, but then it also becomes the way out. It also becomes the thing that saves me from those hard times. And yeah, that's definitely my outlet. Music is definitely my outlet in those heartbreaking moments in life.
If you could describe your career in a music genre, which one would it fit properly?
I would say I lean towards pop music, but I also am working on a concept album that is sort of musical theater inspired, but in a pop style. So, it's impossible to scrape all of that influence away when that was my life for so long. So, it's a little bit of both, I would say.
That's pretty cool. What would you say is your top five favorite songs of all time, or your top five right now?
I'm really loving Sabrina Carpenter's new album. So, I mean, Go Go Juice is such a fun song. I love that. I also love Nobody's Son off that album. I'm into Michael Mayo's jazz album. I can't remember the name of the song that I really love on that album, but the whole album is great. And of course, it's a holiday season. So right now I'm listening to a lot of holiday music, Christmas music. I'm loving the Jonas Brothers Christmas song right now. I'm into just some good old-fashioned pop. It doesn't have to be complicated, it just has to be catchy and good. I'm into that. The classics, I guess I would say. Around this time of the year, I love to listen to Ella Fitzgerald's Christmas album. I think it's fantastic. She's just the greatest. So that would probably be my fifth pick there.
Now, when envy, comparison, or doubt creep in, tell me, how do you find your center and return to your own path?
I think for me, I notice those feelings most often when I'm on social media too often. So I think the first thing is get off social media, get off Instagram, because that is literally just a highlight reel for everybody's best moments, their biggest accomplishments, and it's just not real. It's not even real for me because I use it in that way too. I use it like a living resume so that if clients find me, if potential collaborators find me, they can see what I'm up to. But I don't post on there, my worst days and the things that I'm struggling with. So it's kind of a one-sided story. Yes, people might be succeeding and they might be doing things that you wish that you were doing, but they're still thinking the same thing about you when they go to your profile and they see all the things that you're doing. It's just not real. So get off social media. And also acknowledging, I think that if I envy someone or I envy an experience that someone has had, then that means that I care and that that's something that, I want in my life, and that if it's meant for me, then I'll have it too. So it's those feelings are valid, but it's also, I think, just pointing towards a greater purpose. So it's not necessarily a bad thing.
When people experience your work, what do you hope they feel, not just as an audience, but as a witness to your soul?
I think I just hope that people can connect emotionally to my work because I try to be really authentic in whatever I do, whether that's a commercial or something that doesn't seem like it would be that deep or, a really sprawling narrative video game. I want people to be able to connect to it because otherwise, really, what's the point? There's a reason why we're making any of this work, and it's usually to accomplish some kind of a goal. So if it's a commercial, yeah, you're probably trying to sell something, but you're never really selling the thing. You're selling an experience or you're selling a feeling. And so in order to sell that, you have to connect. You have to be human. And in video games, we're telling a story. And so I really want people to be able to connect on an emotional level to the story and to be able to relate to it and say, I can really believe that that would happen, And if I've done that, then I feel like I've done my job.
Pretty cool. Now, talking a little bit about your work and video games, let's talk about the upcoming game Code Violet, in which you are, you are the lead on that game. So,
Yeah.
what originally drew you to the role in Code Violet, and what made this project feel special compared to to others you've done so far?
Well, narrative games are my favorite. I love a role playing game. I love a 40, 50, 100, 300 hour game. I love those really complicated stories. And so, right away, when I saw that it was an audition for that type of game, I was immediately interested for sure. And yeah, and I also get to be the title character, which is a first for me. I've been leading roles before, but I've never had my character's name in the title. So that's very exciting. And that definitely makes it different from anything else.
How would you describe the overall tone or emotional atmosphere of the game and the character you voice?
Dark, eerie, sci-fi, but also action-packed. It's not just creepy. I think it's going to be very high action and very exciting for players.
Totally. Yeah, when I saw the trailer, it gave me so much vibes. It gave me vibes between Island Isolation, a little bit about Silent Hill,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit about Tomb Raider, like a lot of vibes
Yeah,
gave it to me at once, and I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And not gonna lie, a few years ago, I was speaking with some friends of mine, like, you know what, we need like a kind of a remake of a Dino Crisis. And once I realized, I was like, okay, this is game coming up. This is pretty cool. You know what I
there it
mean?
is. Your wish came true.
Hmm. What aspects of your character's personality did you connect? Yeah, did you connect with the most on a human level?
I think that Violet is very empathetic. I think that she really is not afraid to be vulnerable in front of the people that she cares for. And I think it's brave to be vulnerable. A lot of times we think about action leads as they're brave because they slay the monster. They're brave because, they're thrust into these very high stress situations and they prevail. But I think it's equally as brave to show that you care and to expose like your soft underbelly to another person. And so that's where I think I relate most to her.
And what's something you learn about yourself as an actor while working on this game?
I think this game really challenged my imagination, and I self directed this entire thing. I didn't work with any other actors. I didn't work directly with a director on a live call or anything like that. It was all just like over email, like over written communication. So I was alone in the booth, and I'm pretty used to that. I would say maybe half or more of my work is self directed, and all of my auditions are self directed. So it's not that I'm not used to working alone, but this was a big undertaking. This is a console release, it's a narrative game, there's a lot of action sequences. And apart from a few, art renderings that I had in the very beginning, I didn't have any, cutscenes to work with or storyboards or anything like that. It was just the script. And I really had to push myself to dig deep into, what is really happening in the scene? How far away is the other person? What is the other person saying right before I say this? Nothing annoys me more when I'm playing a video game than when I can tell that the actor is not responding appropriately to what the first person just did. Usually this happens because we don't record together, but having that context is really important. So I'm really excited to see how it all came together. And I think it taught me to trust that if there was something that wasn't going to match with the final energy, the team would let me know that. And I just had to trust that my performance and my abilities were enough.
And what do you hope players feel the first time they hear your character's voice in the game?
I just hope that they feel like it matches the character visually, and I hope that they believe that she's a real person and that what she's going through is real. And I hope that she's in service of the larger story. So, yeah, I hope that her emotional experiences are relatable to players.
Not gonna lie, I'm super excited about this one. As I said here, I mean, I was looking forward for a kind of a Dino Crisis remake, and the fact we're having it in their own way,
Mhm.
that's kind of cool. And the trailer so far looks spectacular, so I'm super sure. And it's a PS5 exclusive, so that's even, like more, that's even more cool. I mean, we all know that
Yeah.
PS5 exclusives so far have been pretty cool,
Yeah, the
most.
hype has been real,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm so excited about that. And yeah, seeing the trailer on the PlayStation YouTube channel was like, whoa, this is really happening, and being
Mm.
number two for pre-orders in the PlayStation Store this week. It's like we're up there with Resident Evil and with James Bond. It's totally surreal. So, I mean, I really am excited to see what people are gonna think.
Plus, it comes from a studio different as, I don't know, as Capcom or CD Projekt Red. You know what I mean? Like it comes from a studio who is trying to deliver something new, totally new.
Yeah.
So the hype is big, but I'm super sure that it's gonna fit and everyone is gonna enjoy it for sure because it's this type, as I said here, it's this type of games that looks good. The story looks great, and the fact that we have someone as badass as you as leading it, I mean, it's a win-win here. You know what I mean? So.
Thank you. I'm excited. It's gonna be really cool.
Now, switching to our next section, speed round questions, yes, no, or pass. Super simple. Gonna ask you a couple
Okay.
of questions. You can only answer yes, no, or pass. You ready? All right, so did you instantly knew the voice you wanted to use for this character?
Yes.
Is this one of the most emotionally demanding roles you ever recorded?
Yes.
Did you keep any quotes or lines from the script that inspired you?
No.
Did you record any scenes that made you stop and take a break afterwards, basically?
Yes.
Do you prefer intense emotional sessions over light-hearted or comedic ones?
Mm, that's a yes and no.
Would you return for this character if the opportunity came up?
Yes.
Did this project push your voice acting skills in new ways?
Yes.
Would you say Code Violet is unlike anything you've worked on before?
Yes.
Do you think players will be emotionally attached to your character?
I sure hope so.
And before wrapping up here, tell me what motivates you? We all have those days that basically we just want to quit. It's inevitable, happens to all of us. So how you stay motivated on one of those days, let's say.
Well, I mean, I think it's normal and healthy to acknowledge that you're going to have ebbs and flows in this career. So just acknowledging that you feel that way is okay and important. That when you're riding a high, when you have momentum and then suddenly it kind of stops, it's going to feel disappointing because you just received all this validation, all these opportunities, and then nothing sometimes for weeks. It can be like that sometimes. And that's everybody goes through that. Even the most accomplished people I know in the industry go through that. But I think at the end of the day, it's like it's never crossed my mind to give up. So it's not that I don't need an external motivation or validation or anything like that, but it's like this is just what I do. So of course I'm going to keep doing it despite the slow times. And in those slow times, how can I nourish my soul so that I'm refreshed and ready to come back and do my best work? How can I make my life about more than just work, even though I love my work? How can I invest in my relationships and my family and friends and activities that I enjoy doing just for my soul so that I'm really hungry to come back and audition and get back to the grindstone? But yeah, it's all about balance, I think.
And what is the single truth about yourself that you've discovered throughout all the highs, the lows, and the quiet moments?
I don't think there's one single truth. I think we're always evolving and changing and growing. But I would just say that, like, for me, it's important to acknowledge that sometimes your plans do change. Like I said, I wanted to be basically a Broadway star, a Tony Award winning performer. And I'm not going to say that I'll never do that, but that's not something that I'm diligently pursuing anymore because voice acting came into my life and ended up being, I think, overall a better fit. And if you had asked me when I was 18 or even 22 when I first graduated from college, I never would have said that I would ever pivot like that I would ever stop or that I would ever pursue anything else. But I also didn't have the foresight to know that there could be something else that would be even better for my soul and for who I am as a person and for what I value in life and just my energy and just a better fit overall. It would allow me to focus on other things besides pursuing the work. So I would just say, like, the biggest thing I've learned in the last 10 years that I've been doing this has been accepting that it's okay for plans to change if that means that they change for the better.
And if someone could carry forward only one piece of your story, one lesson, feeling, or perhaps spark, what would you want that to be?
I think just trusting that if you keep showing up, you will end up where you're meant to be. I really believe that what's meant for you will not miss you. I really believe you can't mess up something that's meant for you. And I have so many stories of auditions that I felt went terribly that I booked. I also have a lot of stories of auditions that I thought I should have booked and I didn't, that I thought I did really well and it didn't go to me. And all of that contributes for me to the evidence that it's not the most talented people in the world that outlast in this industry. It's just the people who are still there and are still showing up and still getting better and taking feedback and not letting it get them down when they don't get the exact opportunity they thought they would because they know that we're in it for the long run. This isn't a thing that, brings overnight success for most people. We have to stick around to see the payoff.
And my last question here, so we can all enjoy and relax after an epic chat here. Tell me, what do you think that could be the best title for this episode?
I think I would call it What's Next? I'm just so excited for what's to come. I feel like I'm really on the precipice of breaking into new, even more exciting opportunities. I have so many ideas for things I still want to do and yeah, just new challenges that I want to take on. And so I'm just really excited to dive in the new year and see what that holds.
You know what? I'm super sure that epic things are gonna happen to you. I always think that great things happen to those who are honest, to those who are persistent enough to keep moving forward. And especially now in this crazy world, I mean, it's easy to give up. It's easy to just throw the towel and say not anymore. But the fact that you are still moving forward, that you're still pursuing this, you're not also giving us cool characters. You're also showing us that dreams are possible. And I think that is a super powerful message. And I think that kind of positivity is something that we desperately need, especially now. So,
oh, well, thank you so much. I mean, I'm so touched to hear that. And Same thing whenever people reach out to me and say that a character that I've voiced has really made an impact on them. That's just amazing. That's what it's all about. We want to have that impact and that connection with the audience. And, since pivoting away from performing, I'm alone in this isolation booth most of the time, and I have no idea if my art matters or how it matters to other people. So when we see that, other people do share that something I did impacted them in a positive way or was inspiring to them, that really reminds me that, this is, it is more than just performing in a four-walled space for myself alone, that it is connecting with others. And that really is what gives my work meaning.
I mean, I now discover why you're badass. What can I say?
All right.
Yeah, it's
We
amazing.
did
I'm
it.
super excited for 2026. As I said before, I'm sure that Code Violet is going to be an epic success. People are going to love it. As I said, I mean, there's a lot of expectation going on. People are pre-ordering it. I already pre-ordered it as well. So sounds cool enough. So I want to thank you so much for making this happen. I do want to thank also those who stayed the whole episode. Let us know what you think in the comments below. But by this point, come on. You should know why Alaina is super badass. Let's follow her. Let's share some love. Hashtag Team Alaina. And also, don't forget to play the game as soon as possible if you have a PS5 or borrow it from a friend for whatever. But anyway, thank you so much for making this happen. Keep shining out there. Keep rocking. Keep kicking ass. Keep doing what you do. And I'll be seeing you in the next one.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.